Hafide, everybody. Welcome to Hagåtña and welcome back to the very friendly confines of the Bank of Hawaii. I'm here with my dear friends Gina and Liz from Remax Diamond Realty Guam. And today we are going to continue our discussion with another friend of ours, Calvin Hernandez, who is a vice president here at the bank, talking about VA loans, a very, very important and very distinct type of home loan that wants to give back to the people who nobly served our country and extend to them a certain courtesy because of the service that they provided. So let's go to the boardroom and let's go to Calvin to find out what VA loans are possible through the Bank of Hawaii.
Hi, we're here with Calvin, Bank of Hawaii. Gina and I want to educate our viewers more about VA loans. So, Calvin,
Thank you for having me.
we love having Bank of Hawaii with us today. Well, we'd like to find out about VA loans. How do they work? What's the process? And who can apply for a VA loan?
Well, the VA loan is actually one of the few programs that is 100% financed. And it's actually a VA loan is a guaranteed home loan by the Department of Veteran Affairs. We, as a bank, can assist identify if a borrower is VA qualified. So if you've served any of the armed forces, all you need to do is go to your bank and we can run what we call a certificate of eligibility. The certificate of eligibility is determined by the Veterans Affairs Office, and it's basically a one-piece paper that tells me that you've served the country and you are eligible for 100% financing.
What is the biggest difference between a traditional loan and a VA loan?
The biggest one would be the down payment. Again, in conventional loan programs, banks look for 20% down payment, or they will only lend 80% of the purchase price. Well, with the VA loan, Uncle Sam, if you can imagine, Uncle Sam actually will guarantee the bank 25% of that purchase price amount. So that allows us to give the borrowers up to 100% financing with no need for down payment.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that the borrower only has to worry about the closing costs, which would be to pay all the vendors such as first year's homeowners insurance, lenders, owners policies, and other closing costs. So that's the biggest difference, is the 20% down payment is removed.
It sounds like getting a VA loan makes it more affordable for a buyer to get into a home.
It can be. It allows you to maximize your buying power. At the same time, it minimizes your out-of-pocket expense. So with Uncle Sam guaranteeing that 25%, we are able to maximize up to how much the borrower can actually afford and focus on the closing costs on that VA loan.
So Calvin, on the VA loan, what can a borrower actually go out there and purchase using a VA loan? Is it just single-family homes?
Well, again, depending on the institution, the VA does allow first-time home buyers or even multiple time, second time. The key on the VA loan is that the veteran or the veteran and spouse has to move in and occupy the house. So it's for primary residence only. Okay?
Is it just single-family homes, or
it is allowed if VA has an approved condo.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the lender can identify which condos on Guam or wherever it may be is on the VA approved list. And then once it's on the VA approved list, then you can use a VA loan to purchase. It is also allowed for, if the lender allows, construction, and again, up to 100%.
okay? What about multiple family units?
It also allows 1 to 4 multiple family units. However, again, there are requirements. The requirements is the veteran has to move in to one of those 4 family units.
Okay.
And sometimes what they'll do is they'll actually validate is if the borrower has had rental abilities or they've had history of maintaining property.
So in order to qualify for a VA loan, you need something called a Certificate of Eligibility, or a COE. So what is a COE?
Well, the COE is the actual certificate issued by the VA. Typically, the VA will require that a veteran has served 90 days in wartime and 100 or 180 days peacetime. No one will really know that. So the easiest way is work with the lender because we do have access to the VA portal. You would give your full name, your social security, birth date, and your orders or your past history. And once we go into that portal, we will identify if the certificate of eligibility can immediately be issued. And in a few seconds, we should be able to get a certificate of eligibility. Now, if you're unable to get that automatically, we actually apply online for the vet or the active military. And within 24 to 72 hours, the VA typically responds with a reply. And basically, they're validating the service term of that veteran.
Okay. So Calvin, other than the certificate of eligibility, what other documents should a borrower put together prior to setting up an appointment to come in and go through the qualification process? What else should they bring with them?
Okay. Well, with the pre-qualification process, the lender would take the income, the assets, and the debt. However, if the borrower can be prepared by having the documentation ahead of time, the lender is more accurate in identifying the buying power. Again, so with income, the military check stub is called a leaves and earnings statements or an LES. Active military will be able to obtain the latest LES statement. Last 2 years tax returns, that just shows stability of income and that they've been working with the military, or if the vet is retired or exited the military, the tax return shows where the income is coming from. So again, the income, and then with the assets, we look at bank statements or saving statements, 401k statements, military, what they call TSP or thrift savings plan statements. Those are all assets that the bank can use.
I see. So are there specific fees associated with the VA loans?
Typically, the fees are standard with regular loan closings. There are certain fees that are unallowable to be charged by the vet, but the bank will work with you at the time of application on what charges are available and what should not be charged to the veteran.
I see.
So for sellers who are interested in working with VA borrowers, is there something they need to be aware of, any responsibilities on their part that they have to offer if they're working with a VA borrower?
Again, once the appraiser is hired by the bank through the VA portal, and once the appraiser goes out to the house, we typically look for what we call minimum property requirements. And then the VA appraiser reviewer will notify us if there are items that need to be addressed in the house. But typically, again, if your house is kept well, kept well, those things will only be determined through an appraisal or through a house inspection. Okay, so with the VA loan, and similar to conventional loans, it is still the responsibility of the buyer to hire their own inspection to determine if that house is for them.
Are there certain fees that the VA requires that the seller actually cover?
One of those fees would probably be the termite. Every VA loan requires a termite report. Think of it this way: we don't want our vets to move into a house which is termite infested. If there are wood-destroying insects found in the property, we would require them to address that by getting a certified termite inspector, fumigate, treat the house, and provide us with a warranty.
And that's just for the benefit of the vet?
Yes. Again, the VA will protect the veterans, and then we want to make sure that they're moving into a house that's readily live-in, ready, with no encumbrances or items in the house that will create additional debt in the future, such as termite treatments.
So what do you need to apply?
To apply, again, in the income, assets, and debts, you would walk to your bank, provide that information. If you have a purchase contract available or ready, then what the lender will do is help you fill out the application and help you fill out all the VA forms required. So you don't have to be an expert with the forms. your lender will help you fill out those forms to make it an easier process.
Well, thank you, Calvin. It sounds like the VA loan is a great benefit to our people who have served in the military. Thank you for your time. And folks, thank you for being with us on KUAM House to Home. See you later. Bye.